Welcome, my name is Bernice Wilson. Thank you for joining me in this video presentation. And this series of videos has been created to assist you in writing the standardized recipe that's required for your assignment. In this first video, I'll be discussing what a standardized recipe is, how to fill in some of the admin information, and then I'll dive into introducing the concept of the recipe conversion factor. So let's begin by understanding recipes. A recipe is information on a set of ingredients and processes that creates food for human consumption. So why do we need recipes in the first place? If we take a step back, we realize that cooking is related to food chemistry. All food is made up of chemicals and biochemical compounds. As chefs, we use processes to denature the compounds to make it pleasurable to eat. Therefore, a recipe is a sort of chemical formula that enables consistent replication and reproduction. Some non-professional and home chefs take great pride in declaring that they hate to use recipes and make up dishes on an ad hoc basis. In a professional and commercial kitchen, however, be very wary of such statements. Recipes are necessary. They are the only way to assure consistency, especially if multiple people are producing the same item. Without consistency in portion size and quality, customers may be turned off enough not to return to your restaurant. Not only that, inconsistent portion size and quality will significantly affect food costs and ultimately profit margins. So do take steps to control portion sizing and quality in your food business. We just talked generally about recipes. Now let's explore what a standardized recipe is. It is a customized recipe designed to suit a particular requirement. The customization could be changes to portions, flavor development, cooking processes, ingredients, etc. The moment you adjust the recipe to suit your own needs, then it becomes your recipe, your standardized recipe, and you will need to take ownership of it. So be mindful of what you put in to your standardized recipe, as you may be asked to justify why you have written the recipe in a particular way. The standardized recipe template has been designed to help you create a very detailed standardized recipe. Everyone has their own style. This one that you'll be doing is a very detailed version, and it will help you to learn best practices as far as possible. Just a couple of general things about this template. As there are a lot of calculations, we will use Excel to assist. When working with Excel, the setup takes some time, but once you set it up and it's done, then you save a lot of time in the long run. So be patient. The Excel workbook contains several worksheets, and it may be accessed and navigated via the tabs at the bottom. For the most part, they are the same template. However, it's been broken down to bite-sized section information. However, once you're familiar, you may want to go straight to the consolidated one, which looks very confusing at first, but it has all the information on one template and one worksheet. So these are the tabs that give you the breakdowns. For example, about RCF, you'll see recipe conversion factor information there. And if you go to the consolidated one, it's coded in the same color box, and you can then relate to the same type of information in this worksheet. Okay. Next, the last tab is a cleaner copy of the template, and you can use this version, the standardized recipe template, to actually do your own standardized recipe. It just makes it easier. You don't have to delete all the boxes, etc. All right, so that's some information on the tabs. Right, let me then scroll up. Yes, before I forget, please note that the templates that I have given you will have none of the formulae in it. Okay, at the moment here you can see there's no formulae. This is so that you learn to do the formula for yourself. Okay, however, don't worry, this video is here to support your learning. So each and every formula is discussed and demonstrated. So anytime you feel confused, come back to this video and revise, and you should be getting all the information that you need. Okay. Next, what else is there? Let's see. Okay, let me just explain this template a little bit. Whenever you see blue font, it means that the cell is a data entry cell. If you see black, then this is where you need to put in the formula. Okay, so if you go to one of these ones, let me show you that the black has a formula in it. Okay, and that's what you should be aiming for. Black also denotes if the cell is linked. For this example, you can see that I've linked this cell to this item. That way, if I wanted to change this item to halibut, for example, then it automatically changes this cell as well. Okay. So I find that function in Excel very useful, so I hope that you will be linking as many cells wherever appropriate, just to make things easier for you. Okay, I think we can now begin to look at this template in detail. The first thing you should be doing is putting your full name at the very top, so we can identify that this is your standardized recipe. Next, you will put your dish title in this merge cell here. Don't forget to delete this statement. It is just information for you, but when it comes to your own standardized recipe, please, this is not an appropriate statement for you to include in your own standardized recipe. Next, don't forget to add in the accurate date so that we know that you created the recipe on the right date. Okay, so dates are very important for all assignments. Okay, I think that concludes all the admin information. Let's now talk about the recipe conversion factor. Okay, a factor is a constant number that is used to multiply or divide other numbers with to achieve proportional changes. Okay, so when we see the word factor, we know it's going to be a number. It has no units. Okay, it's just a number. So what is the formula for the recipe conversion factor? The formula is new number of portions divided by the original number of portions. In this example, my base recipe, my original number of portions, would feed 15. However, today, if I want to make this recipe, I want this recipe to actually be sufficient to feed 30 people. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that if you do some mental arithmetic, you can easily see that you have to double the recipe to suit 30 people. So that's exactly what the recipe conversion factor is. It is 30 divided by 15 to give you 2. Now let me just show you how formula is written in Excel. Okay, so you always start with equal sign, move your mouse over to the cell that you require. In this case, it's E7. The division sign is slash. That's what Excel uses. And then you go to the denominator, which is 15. Left click to select, and then hit enter. So now we have a formula here, and whatever number we change this to, we may even want to change it to 1 portion, or we may want to leave it at 15. Whatever portions you want the recipe to serve, then you would just key in the number in the new number of portions cell. Okay, so let me go back to 30. Let me see, have I given you all the information? Oh yes, and here, if you didn't want to watch this video, you can easily refer to the Excel tab, the RCF tab, and you can just read the information. Okay, so I've given you information. I've also given you the formula here and the cell numbers. Excuse me. The cell numbers are denoted in green font. So E7 divided by E8 for H7. So H7 is where the answer will reside. Okay. So if you feel you need to revise this section, do rewind and listen to the explanation again. If not, you may move on to another video to gain more knowledge on how to complete the other sections in this standard recipe template. So thank you and best wishes for your learning.